Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander viewers are advised that the following program may contain images and voices of people who have died.
The elders told us this thing, it's a must. We have to help show the kids how to respect the community and respect the land. They told us, they talked about the sea, they said, Inamal, Nituni Adinga, Mamu Yaoikri. It means the sea is yours. It's your turn to look after it. They say about the land, Lag Nitumun Yadainga, Mamu Yawekri. The same thing. The land's yours. Look after it. Sea is part of us. The land is part of us. We're in the island, we're islanders.
These dancers from Queensland's Torres Strait have travelled a long way to tell their story and celebrate their history.
Our dancing grounds are our museums, our dancing grounds are our libraries, our textbook, and this is where our culture is being preserved.
It's a way to pass on their knowledge.
My name is Eldridge Mosby. Originally I came from York. Myself and my wife, we're really involved in the culture here. We want to train all our young children how it was before, in the olden days, the way we live, the way we dance. Elders are very important because they're there to encourage our young people.
My name's Philemon Mosby. I'm the elected councillor here on Poruma Island with the Torres Strait Islander Regional Council. My mother is from one of the volcanic islands in the eastern Torres Strait and is an Urab, and my father is an Ngal from the Porumalgal nations here. Learning the cultural stuff, for me it was every day, living with my grandmother. My grandmother was a very traditional lady from this community. She was one of the only fluent speakers at that time. She was also a part of the choir at this St. Andrew's Anglican Church. So I also remember those many nights going to choir practice and learning those songs. She used to sit down and tell us a lot of stories about her life growing up here on Poruma. The stories would come about from songs. She would sing songs, and after singing certain songs, she would tell us what's the song about. I think it's important for communities to have a group like Urab dancers because it has young youth together with elders that were working towards a common goal. We got to have something that keeps them connected because, things have changed. It's that maintains the strength of this dance group, the relationship between the elders and the young people. Growing up here on Poruma, it's very family orientated. There's a sense of close-knitted community.
My name is Jeffrey Pearson. I'm a Poruma man, and I got one daughter. Her name is Talia. She's 3 years old. She's got a pre-prep at Tagaia. Weekends or after school, like we go walk on the beach. Like I tell a story about what, like my dad, what them would do in them young days.
My name is Thelma Pearson. I'm from here, in Poruma Island. Before, I'm one of the choir in the church. Oh, we like to sing in the church, and even we practice like everybody sing. Because everybody, go to one church before, not like today now. People, as soon as it's prayer time, everybody go. Yeah, and everybody know how to, sing them songs.
We used to do singing, sort of looking at a special hymn book that was printed, and they taught us song out of that, all these language hymns. But now, like, we try to give it to the young people. These people must know all the language. We're not going to lose it. We want to keep that.
At that time when I first came here, when it's time for a dance, everybody together, the whole island, the whole Porumalgal people, young and old, everybody together. Everybody go together. They practice then for certain events that happen in the island, like tombstone opening or wedding.
It's the identity. Cultural practice is the identity. The kids will identify themselves as an islander. They can go to mainland, but if you do ask them, where are you from? From an island. Do you know anything about custom of the island, things like that? They'll perform for you to show you they're from the island.
I grew up with culture in dancing when I was very young. I know more or less them dances and them actions and them songs that I grew up with. All these uncles and ate, they already passed on. And I believe some of the knowledges that I've got inside me.
There's only few of us here, few old people. I mean, the elders now in the island, myself, Mr. Louis, and a couple of ladies here. When we'll be gone, that's it, end of our culture. That's why we want to encourage all the young ones. So when we finish, we've got somebody to replace. Otherwise, there's no one to replace.
Fishing was the best hobbies that we have in the community. We train how to spear fish, catch fish, turtle, dugong, and all sorts of things.
They would come back and it would be shared with the whole community. The family members of those hunters would send children around to collect buckets and big dishes to bring down to the beach, and everybody would have a share of that particular catch of the day. When I was young, I remember a lot of cultural practices here in Poruma.
Cultural activities was been still going good at that time. As I can remember, from 60s, 70s was still strong. 80s was still strong, because those elders that we have in this community was still here.
When our children went to high school, they learned different culture, in Thursday Island and down south.
My high school, I went to Thursday Island, grade 8, and then I went down to Townsville. I didn't realize growing up on Poruma what I was part of. But being dropped into a very Western, foreign environment, I felt something missing.
And can we change when we go down south to school? You learn a lot down there at school.
More or less, they're interested in what the white people are doing, their dance, go-go and whatever they call it. we try to encourage them, that's not yours. That's not belong to you. You can learn that, you can practice that, but yours is here. This one is yours, the island dance.
Dancing always being taught to us in the past. You always find older people, they go up front. Then you see all the young people at the back. They learn of him. And I thought to myself, we are going to lose all this. We're going to lose our identity and culture.
My name is Alice Fayud. Everybody calls me Lala, yeah? I come from a family, they were very cultural people. Cultural family, they were hardworking people and church-going people. They speak fluent language. That's how I came to know our culture because they taught me a lot. So you can put the mark there, just cut the end off so you know that's the middle and that's the center.
Straight to this line.
Wow, this line. When I was living down south, I've lost so much of my culture because there was no practicing down there, no cultural stuff down there. I was like living away from families down south. But when I came back, I fit in well with my family and my culture.
If you want to be say a teacher or a mechanic or electrician, you go out and gain that skill. You really want to hit your goal, you therefore have to go away.
Unfortunately, because of those reasons, many people will choose to leave Poruma. They kind of lose that kinship and connection and affiliation to this country, this land and this sea and this environment and the whole social practices, which is sad.
It was a big experience going down south. I mean, we used to only dance around our neighboring island, but it's different.
We always performed on Poruma and was known around the Straits as Urab dancers. A lot of young people were, at the time, very open to the opportunity to perform in this particular dancing group that's gone out now into the Straits and even south. Performing to a wider audience is a different experience for the team. My first involvement and encounter with the Urab dancers was at a cultural launch in 2009. It was entitled Alpuntati Thona Renown language, which is our father's time. During the launch, I had an opportunity to sit down with the elders and I heard firsthand their aspirations for Poruma, for our culture, for our practices mainly. And I thought, we've got a target group, which was the future generation that's connected to the aspirations of our elders. It's a whole different experience because dancing tea on Poruma, everybody knows the songs, everybody knows the dances. The intention was so that we would revive our traditional culture, our traditional language. The stories would not be lost. We would promote Poruma to the world and the world would learn about our culture, our way of life and how we survived in these open waters of the Torres Strait.
Brush. I'm a teacher at the school. I help the teacher, classroom teacher, and we do year 4 to year 7. The culture day is every Wednesday after the last session when we have songs and dance. It's good because that's the time young people come and join the older boys and girls to learn the songs and the dance. Yeah, you got the young people up dancing and the elders, They're like the main audience. They sit there and they look at how you perform or how you sing the song. If something is wrong, they will stop you and say, no, this is how you say it, or how you sing it. This is how you do it. They kind of put you in line, which is good.
If we dance, like make the wrong guitar, or we sing wrong way, that's why you got them plus they will correct you. Because without them, we can't dance this kind. Like we just sabi with the right guitar or the right tune.
Culture is something if it need to be taught, it has to be taught the right way. How we've been taught in the past, under down, generation to generation, led by example from older people down to younger people that taught, in every, dancing is not a just get up there and have a go. It has to be taught properly.
Language development was also one of the key reasons to engage with the elders through traditional songs and dances. We actually sit down with the elders, confirm the songs, who's the composer, we write it down, we get it photocopied and shared around, and we all sing it. We thought to ourselves, this is a practical way of teaching language, is through songs and dances, and them being exposed to the literature of our traditional language.
I think that we danced this one before, but I think we got small changes. So we need to, people need to study the right action. Mr. Louis, myself, and the older ladies, we talk about the language. If I'm not sure, I'm going to ask Mr. Louis. Mr. Louis not sure, I'm going to ask the ladies, So we sort of helping one another here.
Good Lou Mike, Kukian Macha, good Lou Mike.
Others come, bring their mobile phone, and they record it, and then they Bluetoothing it around to each other, and that's how we get the songs very fast. And I remember one time one of the aunties said, gee, you guys are very lucky these days. We had to write on cardbox, a board that we would consider part of fire. One of the ways to ensure that the songs and stories are kept, we go back to the families of certain people that compose those songs, family members who compose those songs who are deceased, get the blessings from the family members so that those songs can be maintained. Even if the elders don't remember the dances, just them being there reassures us that we have their blessings to perform to that dance. There's other dances, other songs that we don't remember the actions to, and they've actually said to us, look, if you are not going to perform to this dance, we're going to lose this song. If we lose this song, we lose a story, a page from our history. We're going to lose it.
We also got language classes here every Tuesday night.
I was selected by the elders to do these language classes. So it is a mixture of English language and our cultural language. The two things go together.
Think about me, mine. That's me, you, mine is me.
I is you, you do it.
Okay.
Young people then, knowing the language, they can compose their own song, and they can understand what the old songs and stories about. Because there, we are passing it down, the songs and the dance and the story behind it to the young people. And hopefully they will carry on. It's keeping it alive. And when I do it from in here. Yeah.
Engaging the elders, engaging with the young people, with the Urab dances, has created an opportunity to encourage young people to want to learn, have to learn their language.
When we do the class, we walk out from the class, the next day we must begin to use those things. We must practically put it in action so that we can get to maintain and work with it and get yourself practice to get used to speaking language. Just like a baby. When baby grows up, you speak one word, second word, and then you go into some sentence. Same thing in our language.
It'll take a very slow process to get to the stage where they can talk. But I think in the long run, we'll be having our people speaking this language that we need.
Young people need to understand the song and the dance and the meaning of it. Because every song that we sing, there's always an expression of, reef, the wind, the tide, or the island. They need to understand those things. And that's probably where the language speaking can come in. And you understand what you talk, otherwise you just say it or you just sing it for the sake of singing it, but you don't know what the word means.
I want to see us be able to speak our traditional language. The only form that it's kind of practiced now today is through songs and dances. Our tour first started in 2009. It's been about 3 years now we've been on tour, and each tour it has grown. Our last tour was last year in September when we went down to Brisbane and was part of the Torres Strait Islander celebration that was commissioned by Queensland Library, the Art Gallery, Queensland State Library.
And then in Canberra we went to Parliament House. We performed in there. It was a really good experience for me. To go on a tour.
The Torres Strait culture is recorded through arts, told through dance, stories, pictures and sculptures. The dances are a part of a 2-week exhibition in Brisbane's cultural precinct at Southbank.
When we were in Brisbane at the Queensland Museum, we've had like a half-an-hour performance and weaving, teach them how to weave. We've telling stories and string games, we call it wame. There were heaps of kids. They loved it.
We take not only cultural custodians, but elders, cultural practitioners, but the majority of it is youths aging from 19 to 28. And for some of them, it's the first time on the mainland.
I was like a mother there to all of them. Like, not only me, there was a couple of ladies with me that look after the youngsters, yeah.
You could see them step up to another level because they know nobody knows this story. This is my story. This story is from my country and I'm the best person to tell this story.
I like dancing, singing. It's how I pass knowledge down to my kids, my grandkids. It's through what I'm doing, my singing and dancing. I want them to look at me, follow my footsteps.
In the middle of our tours, we have cultural projects we run on the community. So it keeps them connected. It helps them to build their confidence so that gradually and eventually it becomes an habit. And sooner or later, it's who they are. And when they stand up and say, "This is my life," it's in them already. And the next thing they do is they teach their children. What's a greater thing than to talk about an achievement of a family, of a community, of a nation of people? A story of determination. And you kind of ask yourself, well, if my grandfather could, I can do this. I can do this too as well.
Like, must respect your culture and respect other people, like, your family, and must obey elders, listen for elders. That's how you learn, elders and parents, so you got something for the future.
Definitely there is another tour. I've sent all my letters away already, and which one gets back to me the first, and that's the city that we're going to bless them with Poruma stories and dance.
I think it's a good idea to maintain, to keep our culture and keep it strong. I don't want to see it die away.
Respect, sharing, caring, listen to your elders. Those that were passed down by the older people, the way how they operate back then, that needs to be used here in the community these days. We're lacking that. We need more of that. If that dies, then we die.